Okay, so we're talking about quadratic functions. We want to see how they move around the axis. We know from our toolkit functions that once we know our basic shape, we can shift it all around. So the first thing I'm going to do is just a review of how a quadratic gets shifted. So we have our toolkit function y equals x squared. It's a parabola. So the first thing we look at is multiplying it by a constant. What does that do? Well, that changes the width. Okay, so it takes our normal parabola. If a is bigger than 1, it makes it narrower. And if a is less than 1, it makes it fatter. All right? So a is greater than 1, we have a narrower parabola. A less than 1, a wider one. If a is negative, it's going to take that whole parabola and it's just going to flip it upside down. Then we have our horizontal shift. We've got something in parentheses, x minus or plus something being squared. So x minus b squared. What that does, it just moves that whole parabola b units to the right. All right, if I have x plus b squared, just takes that whole parabola, shifts it b units to the left. So that's our horizontal shift. The other thing that we can do is we can have a vertical shift, x squared plus d. That just takes your whole parabola and it lifts it up or down. You're just adding or subtracting to the y values. So if I have x squared plus d, it just takes that whole parabola, lifts it up d units. If I have x squared minus d, takes that whole parabola, drops it down d units. So this form, if we put all these together, let's look at an example here. If I write, for example, y equals 2x minus 3 squared plus 1. Well, what have I done? I've made it narrower. I've shifted it to the right 3. And I've shifted it up 1. So all I have to do to sketch it now is put my vertex on. Remember, your vertex is this point right here on your parabola. So I put my vertex at 3, 1. Okay. I know I have a narrower parabola. This number right here, a, tells us 1 unit away from x squared. How high did I go? So if I go 1 unit to the left, I've gone up 2, so that's going to be the 0.23. If I go 1 unit to the right, the same thing, I've gone up 2, so that's going to be the 0.43. And then I can sketch my parabola. This is really useful. It means I can right away, boom, sketch any parabola that I want to sketch. So this form is called vertex form. And instead of calling it ax minus b squared plus d, we like to use h and k. So when we write vertex form, we say that it's a times x minus h squared. That's still that horizontal shift plus k, where your vertex is hk. That's my vertex form. And again, what's so wonderful about that is I can take any quadratic, and if I put it in vertex form, instantly I can graph it. I can go boom, I can get the sketch down, it's graphed, I'm good. So one of the things that we're going to look at is given some quadratic equation. Okay, and that's just an equation where the highest degree of x is x squared. How can I put it in vertex form? So that's next.